मनीषा मैम। प्रियंका मैम, गुड इवनिंग।
Good evening, sir. Manisha ma'am, Dr. Manisha ma'am is going to join.
Okay मैम, okay.
Dr. Manisha Singhai ma'am has joined us. Yogaraj ji.
Okay, Priyanka मैम. Asmi मैम, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Please start the session.
Yes, sir. A very warm welcome to everyone present here. I'm Asmi Jain and I'm delighted to serve as today's program coordinator. I welcome you all to the last day of this training program on bibliometric analysis using Vosviewer, featuring the expertise of our esteemed session leader, Dr. Manisha Singhai ma'am. This event has been thoughtfully organized by the Research Foundation of India and RFI-CARE in collaboration with Shodh Malwa, Parul University, Gujarat, Eklavya University, JHRF, ARGA, and Edu Academic Inc. Now, let me introduce our esteemed speaker, Dr. Manisha Singhai ma'am. Dr. Manisha has over 22 years of teaching and 30 years of research experience with 110 plus publications in reputed journals. She has developed case studies, holds 2 patents, and has edited 3 books. A recognized PhD supervisor, she has presented papers at global conferences and served as associate editor for prestigious journals. Ma'am has conducted training programs on motivation, stress management, and research methodology, training over 500 participants. She has held leadership roles in ISTD and received multiple awards, including Best Researcher and Best Teacher. Her contributions span academia, research, and professional training, making her a distinguished figure in her field. We are truly honored to have Ma'am with us today to guide us through this session. With that, I invite Ma'am to take over this session. Ma'am?
Yes. Asmi, am I audible?
Yes, Ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Asmi, for such an elaborated introduction. And good evening to all the participants present here and the officials from RFI India, including Dr. Ajay and Mr. Yogiraj. Today, I am going to talk about a very important concept of citation. And as researcher, all of us want that we should have high citation index. So here I am going to talk about how to increase citation. So let me first share my screen. Then we will start discussion on the topic. Just a minute. So I hope my screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So for some time, I will switch off my camera so that for the better connectivity and explanation, and after some time, I will switch it on, right? Thank you. Okay, so it is visible, right?
Yes, madam.
Okay, thank you. Today we are going to talk about this topic which you are seeing on my screen, that how to increase citations. So whenever we work on some topic and we publish that research work, all of us have that expectation that other researchers should also refer that work, so that there is high impact of the research and we are visible on different platforms. So as researcher, we are expecting this. So today we are going to discuss about this topic, and the points which I am going to discuss today, these are very basic points. So these will be very helpful for the beginners, and this can be a refresher to the esteemed academicians or researchers who are having some experience in the field of research. So before we go to understand the different ways through which we can increase the citations, first I am throwing some light on the what is citation and what should be included when we are referring any other researchers' research work, right? So if we talk about the meaning of citation, so those who are for some years in the research, they know that whenever we do some research paper or we write some research paper or conduct some research, so in the introduction or review of literature or in discussion, we cite the work of other researchers in the same field. So when we quote their research work in our research paper, we need to give them due recognition and due respect, and we need to mention their name and affiliation and the research work which we are taking from their research in our research paper, so that there is no plagiarism issue, and at the same time we are giving due credit to these researchers. So when we are using those researches in our research paper, we need to cite their affiliations, their name, their title of research paper, and the journal or the book from where we have taken that research. We are including those things, right? And at the same time, we are including the page reference also from where we have taken their research. And when we are referring others' work in our paper, we also expect that others should also refer our paper, and they should mention our name in their research paper. So this is the whole purpose of today's discussion, that how we can increase the possibility that others are referring our work in the same field, and they are mentioning our name and work in their research paper. So we cite different authors and their work in three manners, basically. One is in-text citation. Then we give references of those researchers, and then we may make a list of work which we are citing. So if we talk about in-text citation, I will show you the example also of in-text citation. When we are citing the work done by researchers in the main body of our research, that is called in-text citation. Then for the same citation, when we give the full detail of the source, like name of the author, title of the research paper, the journal in which that research paper was published, and the page number and the year, that we give in the list of references at the end of research paper, right? And we can also give a list of work cited at the end of research paper which we are using in the paper. So these three ways can be used to give references. Now there are certain styles of citation which we need to understand, because what we are looking for, that our paper should be published in good journals, and at the same time it should be cited by others. So what we need to do, we need to follow certain citation styles as per the requirement of journal. So there are basically three citation styles we generally follow in the research. One is Modern Language Association, which is called MLA. Then we have APA, which is American Psychological Association. Then we have Chicago Manual of Style, that is called CMS. CMS is generally used in history and fine arts. So generally we are not using it if we are management from belonging to management discipline. Then we have APA style also, American Psychological Association style. And this is the most popular citation style because it is used in the social sciences also, psychology, education, sociology, economics, and management, which is included in social sciences. So this is the most popular and widely used referencing style. So I will also tell you about that through this referencing style, how we are presenting the references. The third referencing style of citation style is MLA, that is called Modern Language Association, and generally it is used in humanities. So if we are having researchers in humanities, then they can use this MLA, Modern Language Association style of citation, right? My slide is changing, I'm hoping.
Yes.
My slide is changing, Asmi?
Yes, ma'am, it is
Yes,
changing.
ma'am.
Okay, thank you. This is the example of APA referencing, which is widely used. So here I have used two examples of in-text citation, right? In-text citation, like if we are mentioning the work which is done by more than two authors, right? So in this case, what we are doing, we are not mentioning the surname of all the authors, but what we are doing here, we are mentioning the surname of the first author, and then we are using. Can you put your mic on switch off mode? Okay, thank you. So if more than two authors are involved in the research, then the first example is there, like I have mentioned here, Derwing et al. 2002. So there were more than two authors, so et al. Is used. If the single author is there, then we can use the surname of one author only, that is Thomas 2004. And if two authors are there, suppose Thomas and Derwing, they have done some research together, so we can mention like Thomas and Derwing, right? So this is in-text citation, which we need to use in the text of the research paper. Now, how to reference it at the end of the paper? That is references. So here I have used both the examples. The first example was of Derwing et al., where there were three authors. So Derwing et al. Was used, but in references, the surname and initials of all the authors are used, and year of the publication, title of the paper, title of the journal, volume number, issue number, and the page numbers. And we can give ISSN also here in the case of journal, and ISBN in the case of book. Then second example of referencing here is of Thomas, because he was only the only author of the paper. So his surname, initials of name, year, title of the paper, then the university where it was published, because it was a doctoral dissertation, so it was published through university. So these are the referencing styles. What we are looking for here, like here the Derwing and Thomas, these names are mentioned. We are looking for that our name should be mentioned like this in other research papers. So with this expectation, we write research paper, and we expect the name which we are referring here, our name should also be referred in other research papers. So that is why we are having today's discussion. Now, the question is that how to increase that citation, or how to increase the possibility that our research work is referred by other researchers of the same field. Say, for example, I do research work on the personality, emotional intelligence, social intelligence, or various aspects of personalities. So how I can ensure that maximum researchers of this field are using my earlier research work? So what we need to do, we need to keep certain points in mind so that other researchers are using our research in their work. So for the researchers, I initially told you that for the researchers who are for some time in the research, they already know about these ways of increasing citation. And this can be a new learning for the researchers who are new to this field. So for some, it may be refresher, and for some, it may be a new knowledge which they can use to increase their citation. So I am going to talk about some very simple points through which we can increase the citation and we can maximize the impact of our research, right? So there are certain ways through which we can increase the possibility of citation. One, which is called self-citation. Although some institutions and some journals or some researchers, they don't consider it as a good practice, but this is a way to increase citation. It should be used, but through some limits, right? It means that we cannot use every paper which we have published in our next research paper. So relevant research which we have done earlier also and which we are doing for future paper also. So some relevant work of our own we can refer or we can cite in our new research paper, but it should be very relevant to a new manuscript. Otherwise, if it is not relevant, just for the sake of increasing citation, we should not go for self citation. But if it is relevant, then certainly we should go for self citation. So this is one way through which you can increase your citation. Another way is to choosing keywords. This is very important to choose proper keywords for your research paper, because keywords are very helpful through which other researchers can search your work. Because when we search the researches in the field, we generally put keywords on that search engine. Say for basically, if we are going for using Google only for searching other researches in the field, then we will put the keywords in the Google and we will try to find out the research papers which are published in that field. So to choosing right keyword is very important, which is related to your paper and which can show your paper when it is searched on any database search, right? And at the same time, when you are using the keywords, when you are giving keywords, you should make sure that you are repeatedly using those keywords in your title, in your abstract, and in your paper also. Otherwise, your paper will not appear in any search engine if it is only in keywords but not properly used in your abstract or in your research paper. So using the right keyword is one aspect, and using those keywords repetitively in your paper, that is another important aspect which can increase your citation, right? There are certain other ways through which you can increase your citation. So other way is that you should use consistent form of your name. You should not change your style of writing name in different papers. Say for example, if I'm writing Manisha Singhai, so every time in my all papers, I should use this name only. I should not go for like I am in some papers I am using Manisha Singhai. In some papers I am mentioning Manisha as. In some paper I am mentioning M Singhai. This will not be serve the purpose of increasing citation. So consistent form of our name we should use in all the papers. At times we face some problem that for some very common name, we find that we are trying to search some other work, but we are getting somebody else's work in search engine. So to avoid this problem, the solution is that we should create ORCID ID, and this ORCID ID will be giving you a separate identity. That even if your name is common, but if you are having that ORCID ID, and that ORCID ID is in your email signature, and that ORCID ID is also mentioned in your publication, then whenever anybody will try to search your work, and even if your work is very common, your work will appear because you have mentioned ORCID ID here. So this is another way to increase citation, and this is another way through which you will be appearing in different search engines which are searching the research paper or research work which is related to your topic. So writing full name, creating ORCID ID, and using the proper affiliation will increase the probability of getting you searched through different search engines. Other ways, because at times what happens that people are trying to search on your topic, but because your paper is not published in open access journal, so it becomes difficult for them to search, or to them to search your paper, or there is less possibility that your paper will be appearing in those searches. So if it, especially it happens when you are only on the print journal, you are not on open access online journal. So what you can do, you can keep posting and reposting your paper, soft copy or paper, on your different platforms, right? So this is another way through which people can search your work. Then other way of for increasing your citation, that you should share your paper or your data on different platforms, like you can go for SlideShare, or you can give your contribution to Wikipedia. So I am mentioning here very few platforms, but there are more platforms. If you search, you will certainly find more platforms through which you can share your publications. But this is the way through which you can increase your visibility. So you need to share your data. Another way to increase your visibility, that you should present your papers in conferences also. Conference papers, obviously they cannot be cited by others, but the papers which you are presenting in your conferences, and if they are getting attention of the audience who is attending the conference, they will certainly search your paper on different platforms. So when they will find your research on different published research on different platforms, so they will like to cite it, they will like to refer it. But to increase visibility of your work and of your name, you should continue present your work at various platforms in various references. So this is another way to increase the visibility. Now, another way for visibility, it is use of social media. So we use social media for various purposes. So now we should start using it for publicizing our research paper. It is may not be for publication, but it may be for publicizing your research work. So through social media, through Facebook, through Twitter, through LinkedIn, you can mention your published work, and you can also give your published work on your university or institute profile page. Generally, today's universities or institutions to which you belong or you are affiliated, they give that record of publication of all the faculty of their institutions. So whenever they invite contributions from your side, you should not be lazy in giving your details to your institutions for the publication, or for giving details on their website, because it will increase the reach of your paper to the audience. So this is another way for visibility. And you should be very active in promoting your work through any means which you are getting, through social media, through institute website, through different posting or reposting on LinkedIn or any other platform. But you should be very active. Generally, what happens, we write the research paper, we publish the research paper, and we start another research paper, but we are not promoting our work on different platforms. That is why, despite of the fact that we have written good research paper, we have published this research paper on very good journal, but at the same time, because we have not actively promoted our work ourselves, so at times it is not visible to others, and at times it is not referred by others. You can use your blogs also for your publications, like you can write a blog on the topic for which you have published the research paper, and at the same time you can mention in that blog that your research work, this work has also been published in this journal, so they can refer it. So this you should do, and this is your professional responsibility to promote your own work for the betterment or for the benefits of other researchers in the same field. Important point which all of us should keep in mind, that we should create high quality research, because when we create high quality research, it automatically increases the possibility of getting publication in impact, the research work, research journals which are having high impact, which are having indexing in Scopus or other good platforms. And at the same time, if this research is very relevant to the society, people will try to find the relevant outcomes. People will try to use the findings of your research if it is high quality research work. And to create high quality research work, you need to do lots of careful literature review. And at the same time, you need to identify the research gap in different fields. So through which you can identify the right title and you can create a high quality research. One more way through which you can increase your citation, it is you can write a review paper. In my personal experience, I have experienced that I wrote a review paper. This was very basic review paper, and it was published in a very normal e-journal, which was not indexed on any important platform. But even then, if I see my Google Scholar citation index, that paper is a topmost paper which has been cited from my profile. So review paper is generally cited much because through review paper, people get lots of review of literature for their research. And when they are getting lots of review from your paper, they also cite your name in their paper. So this is very important way to increasing citation, right? And then if you are writing a good quality paper, it gives a possibility, high possibility to publish it in reputed journal. So if the journal is highly referred journal and it has having high impact factor and it is open access, it may be indexed in Scopus, or it may be indexed in ProQuest, or it may be listed in UGC journals, then there will be a more visibility of your paper and more possibility of citation of your paper. And last but not the least, there are a few points which we need to understand, that we need to use our affiliation for the benefit, because if we are affiliated to good institution or organization or university, certainly our work will be more reliable and visible, because people will feel that this person has association with this university or institution. It means that he or she has done good research work. So they will try to refer you, they will try to find you. And at the same time, we should try to optimize paper's title. So in optimizing the title of paper, we should keep two things in mind. One is that it should be concise, it should not be too long. But at the same time, we need to keep in mind that it is giving the information to the probable reader about your paper. Generally, what readers are looking for, they try to first go for the title, and they try to read the abstract, and they try to find out whether this paper is relevant to their research or not, or whether they will be interested in that paper or not. So they decide this on the basis of title and on the basis of their abstract. And if they find it useful, if they find it important, then they go for your research. And when they read your research paper, only then they will cite your research paper. So optimizing paper's title and writing the right abstract is very important. We should give the full information about your paper, what it is about, what is the flow, which methodology you have used in your paper, which statistical tools you have used in your paper, and which important finding you were able to find through your paper. So all these things should be there in the title, proper title, and all these things should be there in your abstract. So after reading the abstracts, readers may be interested in reading the full paper and citing your paper. Now, these were few ways through which you can, simple ways, very simple ways, nothing technical here, and there is nothing like rocket science. These are very simple ways which we can use. But only thing is that at times when we write research paper, we are not reminding ourselves about these simple ways. We just write the research paper, but we forget about to take care of these points. So these were simple points. Now I will give you some more input on this, through which you can increase your visibility and possibility of citation. So till these points, I hope I am clear to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Thank you. Now, what we need to keep in mind, if we want to increase the visibility, we should create some important IDs and logins. So some basic things I have given here. One, your ORCID ID, which will be a specific identity to your name. Then you should create with one ID. Obviously, it is government portal, so it will give you added advantage to publicize and promote your work. Then you should create your Google Scholar account. You should have account on ResearchGate, and you should have account on Academia also. ORCID ID, with one ID, Google Scholar ID, ResearchGate, all these things are free of cost. But if we will go for Academia, for Premier Academia, it may cost some charge to you. But we should create these accounts, and at the same time, we should also create account, and we should also give a listing of a research paper on these accounts, because creating account only will not serve any purpose, right? Just I was mentioning that our institute has website. Any institute want to mention the research work done by their faculty members on the website, so they invite that you should submit the research work to the institute for visibility on their website. But at times, faculty members, because they are busy in their routine work, or they feel that okay, aaj de denge, kal de denge, so at times they are not even submitting their details of research to the institution. So even their institute is not able to mention their research on website, right? So what we should do, we should submit the research work to the institution in timely manner. Generally, we submit at the time of performance appraisal. So we should give that research work to the institute, as well as we should mention, or we should list that research work in these accounts only. Say, for example, you have created with one ID, you have created Google Scholar account, ResearchGate, Academia, but you have not submitted your research work here. This will not give you any advantage, right? So please keep this thing in mind, that you create the accounts and you submit your published research to these accounts, so that they can researchers can refer your research work. Now, when we talk about increasing citations, so other than number of citations, we are also looking for two things. One is I-10 index, and another one is H index, right? So if we talk about what is the meaning of I-10 index, I-10 index is talking about the number of research papers which are cited by others at least 10 times, right? So if we are having, say for example, I am having 100 research papers, right? And my 10 research papers are cited more than 10 times. That my citation index, I-10 index, will be 10. Say, for example, somebody has published 50 research papers, and then these research papers are indexed on these platforms also. And if I am looking for Google Citation Index, so out of 50 research paper, my 5 research papers are cited by others more than 10 times. So my citation index in that case will be 5, right? Then coming to H10 index. H10 index is a matrix which is measuring productivity and impact of the publication. So it is reflecting both the number of publication and number of citations they have received, right? So it is the highest number for the number of publications for which the paper has been cited at that minimum in terms of that number only. Say, for example, my 10 research papers are cited more than 10 times. So if this threshold is reached of 10, that is my H index. So 10 publications cited more than 10 times. So if this cross section is coming in my citation, that will be my H, that will be my H index. Say, for example, you have 7 research papers which are cited more than 7 times. So if this cross point is coming, then 7 will be your H index. And in citations, generally we are looking for high I-10 index and high H index, right? So these were different ways through which we can increase the citation. We have discussed about the login and accounts which we need to create the visibility, and we have also discussed about that through increasing citation actually what we are looking for. So we are looking for high I-10 index and we are looking for H index. Now what I'm going to share with you, this will be additional to this session, because this session was on increasing citation, but I am giving something very briefly, I am giving something additional, because in this presentation we have discussed about writing good quality paper, right? So I am talking about here so that we can create a good quality paper in right manner. So I am here, I will be talking about a format of a good paper, so that if you will follow that format, there will be a possibility that your paper will be accepted in good journals and you will have high visibility and you will be able to increase your citation. So give me a minute so that I can use another file. Just a minute.
Bye.
Okay. My slide is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. So this is additional discussion we are going to do because this will help in increasing citation. So it is related to increasing citation. So I thought I should also share this with you. This is a layout of a research paper. Generally, good journals, they use this layout. And if we are submitting research work in this format, so there will be a possibility that it will be noticed by the editors, and they will try to review the paper and they will give their input. Even if they are not accepting it for publication, they will give their input if you are writing the research paper in this format. So I'm directly going to the format. First, we will talk about steps to choose a research topic, because we have also discussed in earlier presentation that we should choose right topic and we should create a title properly. So these are few steps which we need to follow to choose a research topic. One, first you should choose the discipline in which you want to do research paper. Like I am more interested in doing research work in HR and psychology, not in marketing. So my discipline will be HR and psychology. Then I need to select a broad topic from HR or psychology. So I am interested in performance, or I am interested in more in personality. So after choosing my discipline, after deciding on my discipline psychology, I am interested in the broad topic of personality. Then I need to find the background information about the research which is done in the personality. So in background information, I need to do review of literature on the topic of personality. I need to find the books, journals, and magazines and other sources on which the work related to personality is published. And after referring those books, journals, and research papers, I need to find out the research gap so that I can narrow down the topic. Because saying that I am doing research on personality will not suffice, right? So I need to understand that on which population, with which variables I am doing research on personality. So through review of literature and finding the research gap, I can narrow down the topic. So I will give you these steps through, explain you these steps through example in coming slides. When we talk about the different points or headings which are there in the layout of a quality research paper. So here you can see topic, abstract, introduction, rationale or research gap, objectives, review of literature, research methodology, hypothesis, results, discussion, conclusion, implications, recommendations, references, and appendices if required, right? So these are the basic points which are to be included in a quality research paper. Now, coming to these points individually, first we will talk about the topic. This is the example of one of my research work, that is gender and educational level as determinants of individualism, collectivism, a study of future managers. Like I told you that I'm more interested in psychology and more interested in personality. So I have taken here the topic related to my discipline and related to my area of interest, right? After reading this title, the readers will be clear that this research is done on a personality dimension, that is individualism and collectivism. And the variables which are used here are gender and educational level. And this study has been done on future managers, means the students who are pursuing education in management, right? Because we are talking about this paper, so I would like to give one more input here, which I have got recently from very eminent research personality, that the paper which is done on the students, it has less possibility of publication in good research papers, because it is assumed that if you are doing research on students on primary data, so this is very easy to collect the data, and at the same time there may be a less reliability, because specifically if we are talking about undergraduate students, because they are less mature, so there is a possibility that they may not be able to give the right responses to the questions. So less possibility of publication for the papers which are done on the students. But we cannot say that there is no possibility. Even the papers on students have been published in good research journals. But this input I have recently got, so I thought I should share this with you, right? So this is the title of the paper. Then coming to some more examples of your research paper, which may be in your research paper, like a comparative study of impact of male and female celebrity endorsement on buying behavior with respect to durable goods. Then a study on factors influencing investors' decision to invest online in select investment avenues. Then a study on causes of stress among management students, a demographic analysis. These are few examples of titles which are giving clear indication about the research work which you are doing. Now you need to write a proper abstract, and you need to give keywords with your abstract, and you need to use those keywords. So what you need to include in the abstract: brief introduction of the topic and the flow of the paper, that you have used a questionnaire or you have developed some scale, and which methodology you have used in the paper. Then keywords are properly used which you are mentioning in abstract, and the length of abstract should be 100 to 150 words. And to write impactful abstract is very important, because most of the readers will decide on reading your full paper on the basis of abstract. If your abstract is interesting and giving clear indication of your paper, readers will go to read that paper and will cite that paper. Then you need to give introduction. So these are broad points which you need to cover in the introduction. I will not go in detail on these points because these are just to support you in understanding how to write a good research paper. So right now today I'm giving you just important points which you can use in your research paper. So statement of the problem, definition of terms, theoretical framework related to your variables, models which are related to your variables, rational research gap, and objectives. And you need to give a bird's eye view about your paper in the introduction. So these things you need to go give here. Then you need to go for rational or research gap, right? So rational or research gap, obviously it will be done by after review of literature, but it will be presented, it may be presented before a review of literature, right? So the rationale is the reason for which you are conducting study. Reason for conducting study is will not be here like because you are a student of this particular field, that is why you are doing it. This you cannot mention in your research paper. You need to do proper review of literature, and you need to justify that there is a less literature available on particular variable or on particular sample. So that is why there is a research gap, and that is why I am trying to fill that gap, and my paper or research is unique because it is less research. So in these terms you need to mention your rationale or research gap. Then you need to give objectives of your research work. So I'm giving example of my research paper. Objective of my study was to study the impact of gender differences on individualistic collectivist behavior amongst postgraduate students, right? So this was one of my objectives which I have used in my study. Then you need to write a review of literature. How to write review of literature? You need to go through various research papers related to your field. You need to use different tools which you have learned in previous sessions of this workshop. Different tools you can use to write a review of literature. You can use to find out that review of literature. But pattern of writing I have discussed, like Singhai, 2020, Singhai and Patel 2020, Singhai et al 2020. So you need to mention other researches in this manner when you are quoting their research, and then you need to present your review of literature. After that, what you need to do, you need to write the hypothesis also. So this is the example of hypothesis I am giving related to the paper. Just a minute. There is no significant difference between male and female postgraduate students with reference to individualistic collectivist behavior. This slide I have specifically made for you, where we are showing the relationship amongst title, objectives, and hypothesis. This is null hypothesis, and the last one is another way of writing null hypothesis. So title was Gender and Educational Level as Determinants of Individualism, Collectivism, a Study of Future Managers. Objective of same research was to study the impact of gender differences on individualistic collectivist behavior amongst postgraduate students. And hypothesis related to this, null hypothesis, is there is no significant difference between male and female postgraduate students with reference to individualistic and collectivist behavior, right? You need to give research methodology, because whenever the editor will decide upon the selecting or rejecting your paper, they will certainly give priority to your research methodology, the tools which you have used to analyze your data, and the discussion which you have done. So in research methodology, you need to give study, the design, the sample. Then you need to mention about tools for data collection for primary data, if it is primary database research, and tools for data collection for secondary data, if it is based on secondary data, and then tools of data analysis. So all these things you need to mention in your research, in your research methodology. Then you need to give hypothesis. Earlier to this also I have mentioned hypothesis, but these should be written after in the research methodology part. Earlier, why I have quoted in this slide, because I wanted to show you the relationship between title, objectives, and hypothesis. Otherwise, it is given in the research methodology, after research methodology. So hypothesis is the expected result of your research work, right? So like we are mentioning here that there is no significant difference. So we are assuming that there will be no significant difference. If we find that there is a significant difference in the sample which we have studied, then null hypothesis will be rejected. And if we find no significant difference, then null hypothesis will be accepted. So research methodology you need to give, and then you need to give your results. And results should be arranged in a logical sequence based on your hypothesis. Say, for example, you have 3 hypotheses in your research paper. So you need to prepare, you need to present result related to every hypothesis, because for every hypothesis, you need to use a statistical tool, and your hypothesis will be rejected or your hypothesis will be accepted. So on the basis of results you have got, you need to present your results based on your hypothesis. And important part, you need to present discussion also. It means that what you need to do, you need to compare your results with the results of other researchers, and you need to present here that if your result is similar to other researchers' result, why it is so, and if it is in contradiction of other researches, what may be the possible reasons for this contradiction that you need to put in your research. And earlier also I have told you that your paper will be basically evaluated on the basis of research gap you have identified, and the research methodology which you have used, and the discussion which you have done. So you need to give a strong discussion for your research paper. Then you need to write the implications, that how your findings may be important for policymakers, for practice, for theory, and for subsequent research. And then you need to give your recommendations, that what specific actions policymakers can take after reading your research paper. And scope for future research should also be presented in your research work, which will be built upon present research. Then limitations you will be presenting. Then you will be justifying the research areas which are unexplored, and then you will provide research suggestions for future researchers. So when we try to find out on which topic or on which dimension we should do research, we should refer the research gap of or suggestions for future research in other researches, which will give you a clear picture that these are the areas which are unexplored or less explored. So we should go for these areas. And at the end, you need to give references in APA format, which I have already discussed in last presentation. And then appendices you can use here. You can give tables, figures, calculations, questionnaires, which you don't want to you give in the body of the paper, which because it can break the flow of the paper. So you can give those tables, figures, or calculations or questionnaires in the appendices, right? So this is the basic structure of research paper which we need to follow. There may be some variation in the format of different journals, but these are basic things which you need to mention if you want to write a good research paper. So I hope you got the format of the research paper. You understood this format? Yes? This is, again, layout of quality research paper. Any input or any question on that? Because I can see many experienced academicians in this meeting and learners also in this meeting. So I would like to have input from seniors, and I would like to have questions from the learners or new joinees in the field of research community. Any question or any input?
One question
Yes, sir.
regarding this format. Uh,
Yes.
uh, as you have explained in depth the format, the
Yes.
subject was very good.
Right.
One thing generally, I also observed that one question generally raised by the researchers when
Ji.
we decide the title, what
Yes.
should be the length of it? What is the standard length, or like in terms of number of keywords, or so this is one common question generally having, I think, most of the because sometimes what happen,
Mm.
few sometimes we elaborate in detail, sometimes it's very short. So is there any standard means the pattern when we decide the title in terms of length?
Actually, if we are talking about the length of title, there is no certain specific guidelines I have gone through. But yes, I know that title should not be too long, and it should use the variables. And certainly, if you are having more variables, there may be a little length of your topic. But if you are having only two variables, the title will be concised. But what I could understand through my experience, that you should include the variables in your topic, a title, and at the same time there should be some indication of the sample also. But specific limitation of words I have not seen. But obviously it should not be too long, but it should include the variables and the indication of the sample which you are using.
Okay, ma'am. Then another question relevant to that, even
Right.
in the paper after the abstract, we generally mention keywords.
Keywords, in
And
that there should be at least 5 keywords, sir.
yeah, so in that any standard rules mean 5 to 7 or
Generally 5 keywords are used, sir, which I have gone through in different journals and papers. Generally 5 keywords are sufficient.
and is there any direct correlations between the titles and keywords? Because as far as the
There should be.
citation is
Yes, yes,
concerned, right?
there should be, because I have mentioned in my first presentation also that you should that keyword should be such like these are used in title also, and at the same time you should repeatedly use those keywords in your paper and abstract.
Okay, and one more thing,
Right.
sometimes we also use the abbreviations over there, right? So
Huh, huh.
means short form. So
Yes, yes.
when we use the keywords, right? For
Mhm.
example, like in our computer science, there is a word like machine learning. So ML
Yes.
we are
Mhm,
using, or
mhm,
artificial
mhm,
intelligence, AI
mhm.
only.
Yeah, yes, yes.
So when we repeat the same things in the content, right? The same
Mhm,
keywords, what should
mhm.
we use? Like a short or the entire long full form kind of?
What I could understand, sir, like in keywords, so obviously we need to give full form. And
Okay.
if we are using full form in the paper also, then I think that the more visibility will be there and more possibility of getting your paper searched will be there, sir.
Okay, man. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you, sir. And if you have any input, Ashwin, sir, you can also share, sir. You are invited, sir, for
Sure,
sharing
man.
input, because all
Sure.
of us are learners, sir. So we should learn from each other, sir.
But your presentation is very nice, man.
Thank you.
If it
Thank
is
you.
possible, you can share to us also.
Yeah, sure, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. So any other input or any other doubt or question?
Ma'am, can you please share your PPT in the WhatsApp group?
Yes, certainly, sir. I will share to the officials. They will certainly share with you on the group, sir.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So any other, or we can wind up?
Are there any questions? Anybody?
Ma'am, that second PPT you show
Yes,
that the format of the research paper,
yes,
right? That
yes.
also you share. So the new researcher means who are starting the research work
Yeah,
and
sure,
starting
sure.
with that
Sure, sir.
also if possible, then you share.
Sure, 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 sir. No issue, sir. I will share that, sir. Okay, Asmi. So I think we can conclude.
Yes, ma'am. Then please allow me to thank you all.
Okay.
Heartfelt thank you to ma'am for such an enlightening, engaging, and insightful session. Ma'am, it was truly knowledgeable and enriching. I would also like to express my gratitude to all the
Asmi, you are not audible properly. Asmi?
Ma'am, sorry.
Yes, okay.
I would also like to express my gratitude to all the participants for their active participation on last day as well. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Asmi. Thank you, Dr. Jain. Thank you, Dr. Ashwin, and all the participants and all the officials from Research Foundation. Thank you.